Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here and I'm bringing you Blade Idol with how to increase stage drop rate. So if you're Blade Idol player or perhaps idle gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then hit that like button as well. Alright then guys, so a stage drop rate is one of the most desired options, especially in the late stages of the game. This is one of the options that you want to have as high as possible because it drops this very unique item that everybody wants, and this is that a stage drop chest. And obviously apart a great rewards in form of gold, extra stones and bunch of a weapon, armor and a tickets itself, obviously the most desirable is gonna be a diamond. So every single time you're coming back to a game, if you grind full online or you're coming back from your offline grind, you want to see that ideally in hundreds if not thousands. As you know, this is where all the diamonds are hidden, especially in the late stages. You're able to get thousands and thousands of diamonds just by grinding this chest. So I want to show you today obviously all the options of the game, how you can influence that percentage and head that as high as possible. So if you look on my current total for increased stage drop rate currently sits at 214%. Bear in mind, you will start with 100%. So without further ado, obviously let me show you everything I have unlocked. I've got a couple of items I was unable to unlock as these are only a paid options, but I'm gonna talk you through every single one of them and you will craft it for your own strategy. So number one is gonna be in a growth sections, and we're gonna head over to a level up, and this is where you're able to spend 500 points to get increased stage drop rate by 20%, and this is pretty early stage of the game. So I understand you'll be going a full offensive, especially when you're starting out, but the moment you can start releasing some of the points, I highly recommend you will whack 500 points in here and transfer that into extra 20%. Then we go into a second section, and that's going to be a pretty big, and this is a costume itself. So I've got for you a free costumes and free weapon I want to discuss. So I'm going to kick off with costume number one, and as you see that's a dinosaur itself, which will boost additional 20%, and you'll be able to get a dinosaur from a costume package. So if you head over to a shop and tap on a costume package, dinosaur going to be a second costume you'll be able to obtain. And obviously if you are free-to-play player, just by grinding the free coins, and as you see I have managed to grind quite a lot already, you'll be able to spend 230,000 and get that very costume, obviously alongside the weapon itself, but a costume as an armor piece will boost a 20%. Then the next costume on a list is a Spring Day Walk, and I do not own this costume alongside weapon. I'm gonna discuss in just a second, as this is only a paid option. But if you do have this very costume, that will boost additional 20%. And if you want this costume, you gotta head over to a pass itself, then tap onto a level as pass free, and once you purchase that, as you see in my country, it will cost me 25 quid, and that will give me a weapon which is tulip, as well as the Spring Day Walk costume. Actually both of these items will boost a stage drop rate, so the weapon I meant to address in just a second, but because we've got it in that very package, then you will be able to see. So 20% from a costume, an extra 10% from a tulip itself, which I do not own because this is only obtainable via paid currency. Okay, so then we're coming back to inventory again, and the last costume on the list is actually a Red Riding Hood, extra 20%, and again you'll be able to get it as a free-to-play player. Again we're heading over to a costume package, scrolling pretty much a little bit lower, and in here again spending 230,000 free coins, or if you want you can spend a real currency obviously, and this way you're gonna get another and a final costume which will boost that very stage drop rate. And then we move on to a weapon itself. So again we've got three weapons I want to discuss. First one is gonna be Anvil of Love. Weapons usually will give you 10% or less. This one will give us 10%, and we can get it actually from a costume itself. So we're gonna head over to inventory, shop itself, and then from here you go into a costume, weapon costume, and in here we're gonna scroll slightly down, and then just by spending 20,000 diamonds, you'll be able to get that very weapon and boost it by 10%. Coming back to a more weapon, then we've got a tulip which you have already seen alongside a Spring Day Walk costume. So this is obviously only available via a paid package, so that's extra 10% if you got that. And then finally a baguette, it's actually going alongside a Red Riding Hood costume, as you have seen that in that very package in just here. So obviously by spending 230 you're gonna have 2 items, which means in total you are boosting already 30% for that very option. Okay, then the next option that you will have to a chance of influence gonna be a fame itself, and I have all of them already unlocked, so I'm gonna scroll all the way down and actually find a very first one I want to discuss today, and that's gonna be a 2.7% extra drop rate when you match at least 80 raids. Then we're gonna move over a next one, and that's unlocked after you will complete 100 raid matches, and that's extra 5.4%. And then finally, a very similar principle once you reach 120 matches, and that's additional 10.8%, and in total that will give you 18.9% just from a fame itself. Obviously you need to have it on a max level, and that will give you a nearly 19% boost. And finally, the last element how to influence that very percentage, we're gonna head over into Relic itself and then Ancient Relic. And this is where we're gonna scroll slightly down, and in here, as you see, one of the options you'll be able to get is a stage drop rate, and currently sits on a 15%. And as you see, this is obviously still far from being a maxed out, as we got 80 levels in total, so I'll be able to influence that a little bit more, but that pretty much is a last options as it stands when it comes to increasing percentage of this very stage drop. So once again, in summary, we got a chance of getting it from a leveling up, just inputting our points, quite a lot of bunch from a costume and weapon itself, where 4 of them are obtainable absolutely for free and 2 are the paid ones, another nearly 19% from a fame, and finally getting extra percentage from a Ancient Relic. So that will be it guys for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you next time.